The most topical subject. And very quickly, I wanted to talk about the challenges and the emergency of the issue of rebuilding Syria. Arguably, let's start saying that arguably the economic collapse of the Assad regime was also part of the, weakening, the internal weakening of the system. Especially through the deterioration of the lira. The poverty rate in Syria is estimated between 70 to 90% of the population. So I think this contributes 70 to 90. 70 like official, 90 unofficial. So this did contribute a lot to the social pressure against the president. And the transformation of the already weak economy into a sort of a mafia system, which relied heavily on the exploitation, as you know, of Captagon, which was supposed to make for like 2/3 of the exports of Syria. So the level of destruction is enormous, of course. The two resources that Syria had before the war, namely the oil and the agriculture. Agriculture destroyed, of course, by the on the battlefields by the fights, and the oil being controlled by the Syrian Defense Forces, in the Kurdish region, so not available for the central government of Damascus. So the first issue is like to sort of try to estimate the damages of the war. The World Bank thinks that it will take probably like 10 years at least to rebuild the basic infrastructures, and the gross figures like the Syrian gross domestic product has contracted by 85% since the war started. So infrastructures are devastated, as we said, no resources, and Syria that has become heavily entangled with Russia and Iran, who are now out of the game. So what we have to rebuild is both a working economic system and a system of relationship with the outside world. And this second challenge is even more important because, as you know, Syria is under sanction. I mean, the government is under sanction, but also Hayat al-Sham is still on the list of terror organizations. So we are still waiting to understand how diplomatically this will organize in order to allow for external actors to reinvest Syria, to reoperate in Syria. The second important actor is the Syrian diaspora, because let's say that so many small entrepreneurs and the active Syrians have left Syria and taken with them especially the manufacturing system that has massively migrated, I would argue, to Turkey, to the southeast of Turkey, and who may be willing to come back to Syria but have to have a consistent framework to act within. So everything is to be rebuilt. The financing of this reorganization of the Syrian economy is very much question pending. And we now also have to insist on the territorial imbalances, which are linked to the fragmentation of the territory. And I think the last element that's very important in sociological terms is that we can consider that the taking of power by, seizing the power by Hayat al-Sham is like a revenge of the rural Syria over the urban one. And so this puts into question the willingness of part of the diaspora to return to Syria and to contribute to the new social consensus, which is utterly needed to provide also political hope for the future of Syria. So I'll stop there.